Hi, guys. We are back for our finale episode of our reread of A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. Just in case you're jumping in right here, this is a true reread, so we're going to talk about everything ACOTAR related through Silver Flame. So if you have not finished everything, this is not for you. Also, at the end, I think we will have a few things that we might want to say about other book series that Sarah J. Maas has written, including Crescent City through Flame and Shadow and Throne of Glass. So if you have not read those, at the end, we will warn you that we're going to start maybe spoiling some things for those book series, just so you can tune out if you have not finished either of those. But yeah, the end of Wings and Ruin. A lot happened. Even as we were talking about what are we going to start with, I was like, oh, right, the Surreal died. Like, not like I'm over it. I just forgot that it happened in this section. And there was a lot. So all the way back to the very beginning of this section, the Surreal. How do we all feel about, like, did it hit the same the second or third time around as it did the first time?
I think it hurt a little harder.
Oh,
Yeah.
Agree with Jamie. I
wow.
feel like a lot of the other deaths didn't hit as hard, but this one was.
Mhm.
They felt more like a friend rereading it this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like they definitely didn't need to be caught, but wanted to help Feyre. Yeah. Super
Can't say
sad.
And that she stayed with the cereal even after.
Yeah, came back and stayed with her in them, him, I don't know, stayed with the Surreal in their final moments. Yeah, it's super touching and like gives them Helion's cloak before asking Helion to like lay them to rest, and the whole like make it a better world and like realizing that the Surreal is a dreamer. It's a very touching scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice the cool line where the Surreal never gave her its name?
Yes.
Where she was like, "What's your name?" And he was like, "Eh."
Doesn't matter.
Can't matter. Couldn't possibly matter. Does it matter
Did that
in this
did
book
that feel
series?
weird?
Oh yeah. Because who could it be? What's your other name?
Yeah, I don't know. We've never met another Surreal. I think I forget which one of you mentioned this, but just like how we're hoping that we see more Surreal in general, like later on in the series,
Yeah.
because that would be cool. Because we know there are more. There isn't just one Surreal. So yeah, maybe we find out other Surreals. Like, do they have names like Bob or Diane?
How did they know that Elaine found it too?
Wait, found what?
It sensed it. It just knew. It knows everything.
Wait, that Elaine found the Surreal?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Surreal knew
You.
that Elaine found it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it unhinged theory time?
Is it an unhinged theory that pertains to just this book series?
Yeah,
Wow, then yes, it's unhinged
kind
theory
of.
time. Oh, see, that makes me nervous. You're making me nervous.
If Moore's gift is truth, what if there's like some alternate timeline stuff that happens and Moore is going to go back in time and then the Surreal is a weird distorted version of Moore?
What?
That is unhinged.
It's so unhinged.
But I like it.
What? Oh, hold on. Wait, sorry. Like, you think that the Surreal is like a future version of Moore, and that's why we don't learn their name because their name is Moore, like the
Yeah,
Morrigan?
Their name is
their gift is
Truth.
truth and Moore's gift is truth. And we're always like, what is Moore's gift of truth? She doesn't seem to know that many things, but the Surreal knows all of the things. And it's weird how the Surreal is just like instantly friends with Feyre.
Whoa.
Failed.
Like, I feel like that is like unhinged and could not possibly be correct, but I would love that. That'd be so cool. Because I did also notice that and was like, what name could you give us right now that would mean something?
Right.
My mind did the Rolodex of like all of the options.
Yeah.
And there aren't other options from anywhere that I could think of. But if timelines were hypothetically potentially a thing, which we know they are because we know the harp could potentially go back and forth in time.
That's fair. Wow. Is the cereal Morgan?
And then that would also explain Jamie's question of how the Suriel knew that Elaine was looking for it because Morgan from the future would know.
Wow.
Head empty.
Damn. Yeah. I love
Again,
that.
the chances are like 0.008%, but it would be kind of wild.
I mean, you
It
never
would.
know. Like, because we still haven't figured out what that shadow is that's like creeping on more, right? Like, we still don't really know for sure what the shadow
There's a
is.
shadow that's
There's a
creeping on more.
shadow?
What do you mean there's a shadow?
Do
Yeah.
we just
Is it
assume that maybe it was Az?
no, it like was it at the end of Frost and Starlight when Moore like goes to the continent and she's like doing her own thing. She's like, "Oh, I love this place that nobody else knows about. I'm like living my best life." And then there's like a weird shadow in the woods. We're just going to table that until we get to it because I've always wondered and I don't think we know.
Interesting.
I don't
I
remember
don't
that.
think we
I
know.
don't
I think it's
remember
at
that
the
And
end
that
of
was in
either.
Frost and
Frost and
Starlight.
Starlight?
I think so.
Did
Yeah.
it
Talking
happen
about
in
more.
Belarus?
What?
What?
Say it
That
again,
scene
Jamie.
that scene, it happened in Belarus?
No. So, and I'm sketchy on the details, but Moore goes like it's when Moore basically goes off to do her like going to the continent to like be an emissary. Like Reese has sent her out to go do her stuff and she's in this place that is just hers and she says that like nobody in the inner circle knows about it. I think she's like riding a horse or something and like
Oh,
living her best life, like it's her own little piece of her and then she's like, "Oh, I'm going to turn around." And then all of a sudden there's just like a shadow in the woods that she sees and I don't think it ever comes up again.
wow. I remember, like, that place that she calls her own, but not
Yeah.
the little detail about the shadows.
We'll keep our eye out for it when it pops back up. But yeah, maybe that has something to do with your theory, Elena.
My
Very cool.
immediate thought goes to Kochai, but
Kochai. Yeah.
yeah. I don't have any reason for that, but that's just what I immediately thought of.
Yeah, he's kind of a disembodied shadow in my mind too. Like I know we've kind of met him at the end of Silver Flames, but barely.
Mhm.
Um
Right then.
Speaking of more, how do we feel about her like telling Feyre about herself? Like, do we have any thoughts before now? Either or. I can
Hate her dad.
What
yeah,
was
go ahead, Elena.
Oh, I just hate her dad. He's awful. Well, and like the entire Under the Mountain culture is not it. It's just
Yeah.
it was sad rereading it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that she grew up in this place that forces her to be something that she's not. Yeah. I think my biggest thing is like I I'm sad. I'm like extra sad that over hundreds of years she hasn't gotten comfortable enough to tell her like closest friends.
Yeah.
That surprises me still. Like, and I mean, like, not to say that, in a world in which loving the person that you love is not 100% okay, that it's like easy to come out of the closet, but just over hundreds of years with people that
Oh,
clearly would love her no matter what, like, it just hurts me that she still hasn't told them.
yeah. I think when I read this for the first time, I read it so quickly that it
Mm.
didn't really like hit me, her reveal, because I was still a little disappointed by the fact that she kept it for so long. But I think the second reread, I empathized with her a bit more, because it for her it just got to a point where like it was too late that she
Mm.
felt like she couldn't, it's too late to do anything about it because she waited so long and kept the secret. But I'm glad she was able to tell Feyre at least.
Yeah, and there's very much like that moment between them where Feyre's like, "Well, whenever you're comfortable, like I'll be here ready to wingman you." So I hope that there's going to be a time that more like lets everybody know. Hopefully,
I
because
also
she falls in love with a Illyrian Valkyrie
yeah.
warrior. But
I also there was like a note how like which by the way when she met up with oh my god, what is her name? Vivian. And there was like a
yeah,
note about Vivian's cousin or sister or someone that looks like her that could be a
her
relative.
sister.
And then there was nothing else on it, right? Did this happen in this section?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Like,
mention
was
her
there
one
something
more
between them?
time.
Yeah.
I don't know. They only mention her one more time, like at the meeting at the end, the very end of the book, and where Fair was like, "Yep, she was her sister," but that's it.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
wonder if there's any importance to that character because it's not like a name was dropped. Like,
Mm,
you know how Briar, that human girl was name dropped. Makes me
yeah,
think that like, okay, we'll see her again, right?
yeah,
Like a certain Balthazar in Silver Flames. Name
yeah.
drop that one too.
And maybe we'll see Vivian's sister again.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
I feel like we will. It also read weird to me that like she was mentioned 4 times without a name drop.
Hmm.
Yeah, who knows?
And we still have to go to the Winter Court.
Yeah, I want to go back there.
Yeah,
They're the ones with the fox messenger, guys.
So cute.
Not
so
me pick up
cute.
on that the first time.
You know, I can't possibly think of a cuter animal that could send messages to people. Fox messengers for the win.
So
Yeah,
excited for that.
the whole description of like all of the just how the winter court had like its bears and its foxes and like its ice people too. Like they were saying like, you know, one of the like lesser fae of the winter court are these like icicle people. I was like, whoa, how did I miss that twice before now?
Hmm.
Or just not remember. But
Yeah.
yeah, so cool. We've got to go to the winter court eventually. Yeah. Um There were a lot of creatures that died in this book, just thinking about the surreal. Like, it wasn't just the surreal. Like, we also lost the bone carver, which is super sad.
So quick.
Yeah. And, like,
Another
he has that moment with Feyre that I like, where she, like, remembers back to how he kept asking, like, what death was like. And it seems like in that split second, he's like, at peace with the fact that he's going to find out what that is. Sad.
And Feyre looks in the mirror.
Yeah. I love the Ouroboros scene. I think it
I do
is
too.
beautiful. It's just like I think it's very poignant. Because I still think that, you know, the fandom at large is sometimes a little too harsh to Feyre. And not just her. They can be a little harsh to other characters as well, but I think that it's nice that, you know, Feyre admits like I'm not perfect and I love myself for the things that aren't perfect about me. Like those are pieces that make me and I love who I am and that's why she's able to overcome it.
Such a good scene.
But yeah, I A Court of Wings and Ruin is not my favorite book of the like first trilogy. Like we all know, number 2 takes a cake for me. But I love that this book is such a nice wrap up for Feyre and like look at how far I have come. And like am I perfect? No, but like she's such a badass and I love the whole arc for her.
Agree. It's a really cute arc, and it could have ended there instead of ending in Death Pact, which I still don't like.
Agree.
Please tell us why you guys do not like the Death Pact, and then I'll try to only say a few things about why it's one of my favorite things that's ever happened ever.
Why?
Use a cop out for the rest of the series. Oh, I can't do this. It'll kill the love of my life. Oh, I can't do that. It'll kill the love of my life. Then Then maybe you should have made a death pact, sir.
Do you feel like they do that ever?
Yes.
Am I just willfully forgetting all of the times that they're like, oh, I can't do that, it'll kill Reese? Or I can't do that, it'll kill Feyre?
They use it a lot as a cop out in Sliver Flames, but I mean, it's in addition to the fact that she has a super high risk pregnancy, so we'll see what the vibe is in the next book when she's not pregnant and whether or not they still use it as a cop out. And like, I'm willing to forgive one book. Like, say we get one more book and they're back to doing things, but just from the evidence we have after this point.
I will say that I always felt like the cop out, as it were, was just Feyre being pregnant. Like, I felt like a lot of it was, oh, we need to be really careful because Feyre's pregnant, which, like, I get. I understand for like the multiple reasons. It's like, hey, she's pregnant, so like maybe she shouldn't be like doing backflips and killing adders and stuff. But also like them not wanting people to know. Like I know there was the whole keeping it secret. I'll be interested to like reread and keep track and see if it was my bias and if they were being like, oh no, we can't because we like because they don't find out about the death pact until like almost 3/4 of the way through the book, right? Like the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't ever get from Reese in like his scramble that the reason that he's so upset about the whole thing is because of himself.
I think he is.
Yeah.
No, I was more upset about like that they even made one.
Oh. You don't think it's the most terribly romantic thing that two
No, it
people
is.
decide that they don't want to live life together, so they're going to go out at the same time? Because
And
I
it's
think it's
just
the most
so
terribly romantic thing in the whole world.
I think because like after everything they've gone
Out.
through, like
Oh,
she
sorry, what
died,
do you mean?
then he died.
Mm,
I guess they want to go out together, which I understand.
yeah. Elena, I'm going to hear you
But
out. Go
as
ahead.
like their friends, like because all their friends were mad at them for that.
Yeah.
I would be too.
I didn't really hear what Jamie said because my audio is being weird.
Oh.
So apologies if this is repeating. But Feyre literally dies and then Reese literally dies, and both of them are brought back to life. So here, like, I understand not wanting to live without the other one, but you're making it infinitely more difficult for like the next time one of them dies. Now they have to bring both of them back. Like there's obviously a chance if one person dies to like magically like loophole your way out of it. You're not gonna be able to loophole your way out of it for both of you. So like
I think this just shows that they're never ever gonna die because it cannot happen again.
Or they both
I'm
die together, which I think would
no.
be terribly
They
romantic, and I'll cry
they're
for a
gonna
month.
live. No, they're gonna live forever.
I am very excited about rereading Silver Flames and like keeping track of this and seeing how it goes.
Just this.
Just this. Yeah, there's nothing else that happens in Silver Flames except for Feyre's high risk pregnancy and a death pact. That's the whole thing. Luckily that's not the case. Yeah. I really love Feyre in this whole book and just how she wraps up her character. Because I still believe that she is a badass that will do terrible and wonderful things to come.
I just love her growth. Like she came such a far, like, long way.
Yeah. Um, when we were talking about dead creatures, we skipped right over the Weaver, who also makes me very sad, but mostly because she's the badass that kills Ianthe, and it makes me so happy. That scene, I think that's what got me through the Suriel's death. Like, I was just so excited to see Ianthe die again.
Oh, Brooke, you never see the body. Oh, you're being hypocritical right now.
I think the reason we don't see the body is because it's eaten.
And you
I'm
could
just
see
saying,
described the Weaver as being like youthful looking afterward.
if this were Azrael and he had gone into that Weaver's cottage and not come back out, do you know the kinds of theories we'd be dealing with right now?
Or like, and the Weaver also, which I love, is wearing Ianthe's
Yeah.
jewels. Like, I
And
don't know.
that's enough to
For me,
prove death?
it's yes. Or also just like her screaming that then ended in silence while she was in the thatched cottage of hair.
If there's not a body.
I mean, maybe Ianthe comes back. Ugh. God,
No,
hope
I
not.
don't think so. But all I'm saying is now that the war's over, there's a free cottage for looting.
Wow, you're right. I don't know why the
Lots
D&D
That's a
player
really
in me
good
never thought
point.
about that. Yeah. There's a lot of really good shit in there too. Um, I don't know if I'm forgetting a death other than the one I'm about to talk about, so let me know. But how do we feel about Papa Archeron?
I feel like last time I was sadder.
Oh,
This time it didn't hit as hard because I think last time I was just shocked that he showed up. So then when he
Yes.
immediately died, I was like,
Sailed up on there.
yeah,
but this
sailing
time
the
I knew
Nina,
it
the
was
Pinta, and
happening.
the Santa Maria into battle. Yeah,
No, the Nesta, the Feyre,
No.
and the Elaine.
Santa Maria. Yeah, yeah,
Pilgrim Papa Archeron, who we still don't know his name. Um,
yeah. If anything, because I've never really been sad about the Papa Archeron death. I'll be totally honest. Even the first time, I was like, "You gotta be kidding me." I used this reread, this third reread, to try to figure out who he is. Who is
Mhm.
he? Who the fuck is Papa Archeron?
what? How? And like, I guess like Vasa and Lucian were just like, "I'm so sorry. He was a great guy. How do you know?"
And
They
Vass
tricked
is like, he was like
him.
better than my dad.
Like what?
How time is it? It wasn't that long, right? It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Weeks. A matter of weeks.
not months.
Also, there's a line about how he struck a bargain with Koche that allowed them to take Vasa. What
Mhm.
bargain? What
Mhm.
bargain could Papa Archeron make with Kochai for Kochai to be like, yeah, sure, take her. Just, bring her
I-
back in a couple weeks.
Mhm.
Unhinged theory number 2. Kochai is gonna come and say, "Hey Elaine, your dad gave you to me. You're mine now."
Oh no.
Can you even imagine Elaine becomes one of the like white swan things?
Oh no.
I'm
That'd be
just saying the
awful.
next book is Elaine's book, and I think it's gonna be Koshai related. So
That's a really good theory. But
I think
I
that
kind
is
of
a great
hope she
theory.
sees it coming. But I don't know. I feel like in Silver Flame she didn't really use her seer powers at all.
I think the problem with Silver Flames is that it very little happens to people that are not Nesta and Cassian. And then like Feyre and Reese and Nyx. Like those are the only people that have like real character progression.
yeah, and like I feel like the overall plot doesn't go very far. Like the plot that end that's what I was thinking about at the end of this. The plot of what ends right here is essentially the only plot we have in this progression.
Yes. For almost all the characters, like almost no
Mhm.
one does anything. Like Tamlin gets more depressed. Lucian finds some friends and tries to figure out who he is.
Nesta learns, but even Nesta and Cassian have a lot of like personal growth, but not a lot of like
Plot growth.
plot growth.
Yeah.
Nesta learns how to use a sword
Yeah. And
and make
also,
friends.
yeah, and be a nice person. Yeah.
A nice person for Nesta.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, still not
Like a better never I can't
a
say it,
better.
never mind.
Yeah. Papa Archeron. Who are you? Let me know.
I feel like if anything, it it helped me with Nesta understand her a bit more, like where her guilt and her feelings before like Silver Flames happened in that moment of losing her father. And if
Yeah.
anything, I felt more about her loss than his death.
Yeah. I definitely think that's the hardest part is like them all losing him after just getting him back. And I think that Nesta definitely has the most like the most issues with him out of the three of them. So yeah. Bummer, man. I think that's all the dead people though. I think that's all the people that die and stay dead in this book.
And died and stay dead. Well, Highburn. He's dead and stay
Highburn.
dead.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. He gets decapitated, which is always great.
Stabby stab. What a good moment.
Yeah, I didn't realize or remember, but this time I realized that right before Elaine comes and stabs Highburn in the neck, Feyre is trying to make a bargain with the cauldron. Like,
Mhm.
twice says, I will do anything. You can have my soul.
Yes.
And then she just says, you know, after Elaine stabs, or as Elaine is stabbing the King of Highburn, says, like, but then the cauldron didn't need to answer me because someone else did. And for the first time ever, I looked at that and went, but did it?
Elaine
Feyre
is
have a
special
soul?
little person.
I noted that too, because she like Feyre just kept putting it off that like, oh, the cauldron, it doesn't have thoughts and feelings. But then like she kept mentioning how, oh, the cauldron acted as if surprised or had this feeling or something.
Yeah. Very, very weird. Just like now I've got to wonder, did Feyre make a bargain with the cauldron? And we don't know what came of that.
Only makes so many bargains. She already has like 8 of them with Reese. She doesn't need a death pact with Reese and a soul pact with the cauldron.
She's already got 2 full sleeves. She's out.
Doesn't she have like the bargain with Bryaxis too?
It's still on her arm.
Still, yeah, that's a lot.
Yep. Where is Bryaxis?
Ooh, access.
Who is
What is
Bryaxis?
Bryaxis?
Bryaxis! I have such a crush on that little monster. So cute. Just want to squeeze him.
But he's scary.
I know, so spooky. I love it.
Fear itself.
Fear itself, yeah. It's funny how similar Bryaxis is to the Bog, because I remember when we were talking about Bryaxis for the first time in this reread, I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember in the like end battle that he's just like scaring the shit out of people and that's how he's killing them. But I was like, no, but that's the Bog, but it's also Bryaxis. Like, is he like king of the bogs?
Who knows with these creatures?
I don't know.
And where they came from.
Where did they come from? Where did they
Where
go?
did they go?
Where did they come
Where
from,
did they
Cotton Eye
go?
Joe? Someday we might know. That's it, I'm done. That's my whole song. Yeah. Again, just a lot of like Amryn talking about where she came from and all the death gods and whatnot. I don't know.
I don't know. Can we talk about Elaine's kidnapping scene now, though?
Oh yeah.
Yes. You know what, Elena? I want you to take this away. I want you to tell us all about Elaine getting kidnapped and Briar and Jurian and your favorite character who turns into a beast. Tell us all about everybody.
I was really reading it to be like, this is the moment to see the cute Tam Elaine bonding. Like, there's gotta be a sign in there that this is gonna happen. And there really don't be anything. It really be about Elaine and Az, and I didn't love that, if I'm being honest.
Jamie just covering her face.
Go on, go on.
A lot of cute Elaine Az moments. Really just Tamlin being on the ground, having no interactions with her. But you know, we're still out here hoping.
Yeah, it actually I got
Maybe
the
in the
same
next book.
vibe. Yeah, maybe. I got the same vibe from this scene that I did from Tam and Elaine at the end of Mist and Fury, where Elaine like comes out of a cauldron and Tamlin barely cares. Like, you know, you want that to be the moment where you're like, oh, we see the spark because Tamlin's so worried about her, and but no, it's Lucian. And then in this scene, it's like, you know, Azriel being like, like, it's he's the one who first realizes Elaine is gone. Like, I don't know if you guys caught that, but out of everyone, even her sisters, Azriel's the one that says, "Where is Elaine?" And then
Mhm.
he's the one that's like, "Well, I'm going to go get her. Who is anyone
Yeah.
coming with me?" And just, my God. Oh,
Yeah,
the
and he
chills.
is quite insistent that he is going.
Yes. And like, you know, it's so clear up until the point that we're at, especially with that bonus chapter, that like Az has some serious feelings for this girl. Like, I could totally see the two of them being endgame. I think the question is just like, is that how it's going to end? Like, is it actually the two of them, or is it going to be somebody else?
Like the attraction with them. And Elaine is crushing on him so hard.
Oh yeah.
Even if she hasn't like accepted or gotten over Grayson yet, there is definitely something there.
Oh yeah. Even when Cassian's like, "Here, have a dagger," and she's like, "Oh God, no!" And then Azriel comes over and is like, "Here, have a dagger," and she's like, "This one's fine." Like, just like, I'll take your dagger, as like, oh come
And
on,
everyone's
Elaine.
like, "Oh my god, he's never let anyone touch that dagger."
Never will again. Yeah. Um, she definitely has something for Az, and I think that just like the two of them connect really well, and I'll be very interested to see how their story progresses. And is it like, are they together, or is it just we're like best friends kind of thing? I don't know.
If you can move past or go to best friends after an almost kiss, but we'll see.
Didn't they mac it?
No,
No.
they were cock blocked. Can I say that?
Nice, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Every time I edit a
In the
video, I
bonus
say, "This
in
is not for
Az's
children. This is not for children."
yeah, in Az's bonus chapter, they're about to mac it, as you were saying, but Reese steps in. He's like, "Don't do it," but in Az's mind, so
Mhm.
Elaine takes it as like, oh wait, no, Az says it's a mistake, like, we shouldn't do this. And she's taking it as like, oh, he's not interested. Even though she's the one that's making all the moves in that
I need
scene.
to reread that chapter. I definitely thought that they like made out a little bit,
Nah,
because
they didn't.
the thoughts that are going through Azriel's mind are
I mean,
very
typical
explicit.
male, right?
It is not horn noise. It's like that's the noise.
No, sad that Reese is blocking them. That was another
Oh,
one of the
then
we
I
disagree
agree
with
with
Reese
that.
when he's not one of the main character POVs.
No, that's fine. I thought that was the noise that was happening in your head when Az is having the thoughts he's having about Elaine. I was like, that's not what my
Yeah,
mind
that's what
was
I thought
doing.
too.
Oh, no, I still don't support it. I still like out of all of the couple options, as Elaine is my least favorite. But
Elena,
I really like
why?
as Quinn.
Okay, is it just that? Is it that you
It's
just
literally
really
that.
okay?
I really, really like as Gwen.
Mm.
Also, I think there's a cute Elaine Lucian moment at the end of this where they're
There
both like, "You
is.
It
good? You
is.
good?"
It does sound hopeful. So it makes me
Yeah.
question, like, what happened from this moment at the end of Agawar to like how she just like, reclines from him, doesn't want anything to do with him. Like, what changed? And there's a scene
I
where it's like Feyre sees them talking, but doesn't know what they're talking about. So, and I remember writing down like, what are they talking about? What happened
Mm. Yeah. Has something happened that we don't know about?
there? Hmm.
Hmm. There is also a lot of stuff at the end about how into Vasa that Lucian is, which is my preferred pairing. I do love that.
Like cute. Yeah, she was like
okay with
animated
too.
talking to him. He blushed when he talked to her, and then he looked at Elaine. I'm like, is he trying to see if she's jealous or something?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfectly okay with that coupling. Seems like a great coupling. We love Illusion Vasa. We love a Gwen Azriel, and that really just leaves Elaine and
You
someone that needs a
like
lot of
a
character
Gwen
growth.
and Az relationship.
I
Yeah,
also
we
like
like the
Gwyn and
Gwen and Az
Az.
which
relationship.
is totally fine. I don't see it.
We like the Gwen and Az.
I can see Gwyn and Az real hard in Silver Flames. I just don't know. Gwyn and Elaine are very similar. They're very similar people. Like, I feel like when Elaine gets her chance to go through her own story progression, it's going to be similar. If only just in like the I, need to stop holding myself back. I need to, be the person that I am and, be loud and proud about that and not stay in the shadows. But
Yeah, the issue
Not
I
wait for
have
Elaine's
is
book.
just this build up between Az and Elaine. Like, what's the point of building all these little moments that they have with each other for three books? Like, what's up with that? What's the purpose?
I think I think what I could see happening is Elaine and Azrael being with other people and having to come to terms with the fact that they both do have feelings for each other, but that they're not each other's person. Like I could see that being an arc where they just like they go through all of that character growth because like Az has a lot of growing to do too. It's not
He
just
does.
Elaine, and I think that there's a possibility that they're just like it could have happened in like a life, but I'm with this person, and the reason that they're perfect for me is XYZ.
I actually see that too. Like Elaine and Lucian being mates, even though I find it suspicious.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene in the bonus chapter that there could be a mating bond between Azrael and Gwen.
Mhm.
So maybe it's like they each have their own mating bonds, but then want each other. And by want each other, I mean Az and Elaine want each other, but can't because the universe is telling them that they can't be together
Yeah.
because of their own mating bonds.
Maybe they overcome it. Who
Maybe.
knows?
Wait, out. Couldn't it be just as fun if Gwen, not if Elaine and Az become BFFs and like become like best friends? Like I just could see them be friend bond like shenanigans, and
Actually,
then
I could see Elaine having like a friendship bond with Reese
Mm.
because they're kind of
I-
cute together. Like Reese has said like good nice things about Elaine, and I wonder if that's because maybe he sees like his sister in her or something.
I can see Elaine and Az being friends for sure. I think the thing that I would need to see how it worked out is like there's some serious sexual tension there, and like the only way that that doesn't work out is if they give it a try and it's not what they thought it was, or if one or both of them falls in love with somebody else. And I will be so devastated for Az if it's like Elaine's book and Elaine just finds her person, and then Az is still just like,
Well, I think we know that Elaine kind of sees Az as her person because she crushing on him so hard, making the moves on him. Like if you guys read the bonus chapter, you'll notice like she's making all the moves. Like, oh, that necklace, put it on me.
yeah. Well, and I think Az is really into Elaine too. Like, I think he sees her as something serious too. I don't think he gives Gwen the necklace because he really, like, consciously thinks of her as a possibility. It's just like, oh, yeah, Gwen, like, I'll give it to her. But I think that that might be a moment where he realizes, like, oh, Gwen. Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, there are scenes with him and Gwen that I've seen that kind of screams like friendship to me. And I think it's because
Good.
it's just like a little I know Elena doesn't think so. But like it's hard because like I don't see how Gwen is feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe she's competitive. I do see that like Az is paying more attention to her and that she's coming up more and more, but also can't help but feel like there's something suspicious with her character.
Mm.
And I don't mean that in like a bad way. I don't think she's like a bad person. It's just that like there are times where Nesta and Az are feeling drawn to her when they weren't
Hmm.
even like heading towards her or
Hmm.
like moments like that. And I wonder if she's hiding something.
There's going to be a lot to talk about with all of this in Silver Flames. Elena, did you have something else that you wanted to say?
Yeah, just to confirm, it's definitely confirmed that Az is book 6, right? So like Elaine and Az have a separate book.
I don't know.
I know it's been said, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know if
Yeah.
it's separate or if it's together.
Oh, that's true.
There was a lot of other stuff that happened in this book that I know that we have to talk about.
I know, I think we derailed a little bit with the
There's
war.
Yeah, with all the stuff that we're going to talk about 5 more times while we reread Silver Flames. We need to talk about Nesta and Cassian. Personally, my favorite part of this whole section of this book, like the whole end of this book, for me, is just that scene between the two of them and
More
her
than the
shielding
death
his
death?
body. Yeah, I think. Yeah, for me. I think first time reading it, obviously, it's like all about Reese and Feyre. And like, I mean, I cried so hard when I thought he was dying. And I love the Death Pact. But like, in terms of single scene, like that scene with Cassian and Nesta, I think is one of the most beautiful scenes that the two of them ever have. Like, there are other scenes that are great in Silver Flames, but like this one for me, just like it might be my favorite one. I love it so much.
And when she calls for him and he comes, and
Yeah.
then his entire battalion is completely demolished. But other than that,
Yeah. It's just, I think that, because it's clear that the two of them have some sort of feelings for each other. Um, but it's in this moment where it's like when push comes to shove and the two of them realize that they could lose each other. Like Nesta really never comes out and says, like, I would have wanted to be with you. Cassian really does. And I think that it's just a gorgeous show of how the two of them are so meant to be together from such an early time that even without having ever kissed really, because I don't think, no, they don't in that extra chapter. Like he kisses her and tells her that he's gonna find her like in the afterlife and that he's so sorry that they never got to like really spend time together in this one. And I'm just like, oh my god. Oh my god.
I always melt when like any reference to like time or world or finding you in another world or something like that. It always gets me.
Yeah. Because I don't know about you guys, but like the first time that I read this, I genuinely thought that Cassian was going to die. Like I thought for sure there was
And you
no way
got
he
hit
was.
hard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it was a roller coaster. But yeah, I just her laying on top of him to shield his body from this like otherworldly king god person. Like I just Nesta. Oh. And then she goes and retreats for a whole novella and then 3/4 of a really big book. And just, yeah,
growing, she has some stuff to work through.
she does. And it's beautiful to watch. But yeah, I just love that scene. It's one of my favorites.
Know what scene I don't love?
What?
The magically bringing Reese back to life in the exact same way we brought Feyre back to life scene.
Yeah. Would you have preferred that it happened in a different way?
I would have preferred he didn't die. Like I didn't feel like he needed to die in that moment. Like he could have been really close to death, but it just felt repetitive.
Or poetic that he died the same or relived the same way his mate did.
Yeah. And I think like out of that, I agree with you, Elena. It would have been nice if it was like a slightly different way. But I like the mirror of Feyre needing to take the place of like actually being like the High Lady of the Night Court. Like it's very clear in that moment that she is. Like it's not just Reese being like, I decided. Like she can do the High Lord, High Lady magic.
Right. Isn't
Um
it called High Lady?
yeah,
Or is it called something else?
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the last part is High Lady.
That's very cool.
Um But I think too, it's like, for 3 books, it's all about, not all about, but like one of the biggest things is about how Reese will sacrifice himself for the people that he loves. And like, this is the moment where he does it. Like he, you know, they call his bluff and he's like, nope, I'm going out. Like, this is it. I'm going to use the rest of my life to help seal the world and save everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Okay,
foreshadowed so many times.
the cauldron could have brought him back to life. Like Feyre could have used the like there were just it was we've seen the scene before.
Yeah.
I
I think
liked
too.
that. I was gonna say I like
What?
that the High Lords all pitched in because it wasn't just like, oh, Feyre the curse breaker, she saved them all from the curse.
Mhm.
It's Reese who had saved everyone his whole life.
I think too, the other thing that I like about it is that Tamlin now has to be in Race's shoes. And I really like, because I mean, I am pro Tamlin redemption arc, and I think we get a lot of moments at the end of this book that show how it could be possible. And it's just nice when Feyre sees that like change in Tamlin's eyes when he's like looking at them and seeing how upset she is about Reese being dead. And I think it's just so beautiful how Tamlin just tells her to be happy. And I think that he genuinely feels it. Like, I think that's the moment for Tamlin that he realizes, like, Feyre's not mine and she never was. Like, I think up until that moment, he was still thinking, I love her, maybe somehow, or like he stole her from me, but then it's very clear to him, like, nope, it was never supposed to be.
Also had a little bit of time to decompress after the High Lords meeting when Feyre tells literally everyone her entire story.
Yeah.
I just feel like it could have been done a bit differently.
That like very last meeting that they have, like after the war, or the
I
The love
two
is
different
blind.
thoughts.
oh yeah, the reunion episode. Yeah.
What reunion episode?
Oh, we were
I'm
saying the High
confused
Lords
now.
meeting in the middle of the book was like
Yeah.
a Love is Blind reunion episode. It was very drama filled
So
and
drama.
cringe, almost kind of cringy.
Definitely some cringe. Yeah.
But so you guys want more of a redemption for Tamlin? Because I thought this was it.
There's still more coming. That we see all of his sad boy moments in Silver Flames.
He is
Yeah.
sad
There's got to
boy.
be an up.
But I think also redemption is that he finally accepted Feyre and that, he can move on from that.
Dawn, like that's the part that I think he still needs to do. Like he's accepted that Feyre is gone, but he for himself hasn't moved on.
I think, me personally, I think Tamlin's biggest problem at this point, like where we're at, Silver Flames, end of Silver Flames, is that I think he now realizes that he's not a great person. Like, and I think that he is having a hard time figuring out like who he is and how to make those changes and like live a life that he wants to live. But yeah, I would be okay if Tamlin didn't get like a full redemption arc. I would feel kind of like, what was the point if he doesn't make some progress toward at least like being more worthy? I don't need to like see him fall in love with someone and like have that happily ever after, but I need to see him be like, I could do it.
I agree with that, especially when he never wanted to be High Lord in the first place. Make the world a better place, Tamlin.
Right. Yeah. He's got work he can do.
And to come full circle, friendly reminder that Elaine's dresser is flowers.
And she said all she wants to do is build a garden.
She also wants to travel the world.
She did before.
You did say that.
Yeah. I don't know if she does anymore. Gotta check in with her. Was that it? Did we touch on all the major points? Did anyone have anything else that they wanted to?
I mean, was there anything else before talking about Mass first? Like
I don't think so.
Kochai? Vasa's curse. I don't think I feel like we didn't really learn much.
Oh, about Vasa? No.
Not like nothing new, really.
No. Yeah, she
That's
has a
like
curse and she wants Feyre to break it or help her figure out how to.
yeah, which is fair because
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
thought that too.
Okay, I found something, but I think it can wait until Moss first.
Let's do it.
I think that's where we're going. So if you have not finished all of Throne of Glass and Crescent City, this is not the place for you. Please hit pause and come back once you finish reading. What did you find, Elena?
Okay, not actually. I need to know what happened on Drake and Miriam's island 300 years ago that forced them to hide.
Yep.
What a
Yeah.
weird reference that we never get details of. And then they're like, and they told us the whole story, but you don't need to know.
But also that like other trove item that has been mentioned as being on this other island.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they like make reference to it when they're like, "Oh, that item."
Yep. So many weird little strings. I have no thoughts. Do either of you have any thoughts on it? Oh,
Oh, head empty.
head empty. And yeah, entirely. I have no idea. So many things that I've guessed have just been entirely wrong at this point. I'm just like, I don't know, I got nothing. Yeah. Did you guys notice that Amryn talks about how the place that she came from had humans and how she liked to like watch them, be friends and fall in love and everything? So like is she not from hell? Or does hell also have
She's got
humans?
father. Who's her daddy? Is it a prince? Is it a prince of hell?
Who is Amryn's father?
We get her like form her it's like a dragon. It's not like it's like a phoenix looking thing. Like they describe what she looks like and it's not like a prince of hell. It's giving more I don't know, phoenix vibes. But I tabbed it cuz I was like I don't remember how they describe like, Mala Firebringer looking.
Mm.
Actually, let
You
me
noted
Google
that
it.
too. Like, isn't it really like she's like a body of fire? So it reminded me of like a sprite.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh,
I think
true.
it says like feathers like fire, but they might not be real feathers. Maybe they're just like the embers, like the
One
Oh, you
I
know what
have
we
it.
forgot to talk about? That I
what?
forgot that Helion had like a creature form.
Oh yeah. I
I'm
do
like, how
keep
did I
like
forget that?
I do keep looking at like Helion and Reese's creature forms and trying to figure out like have we seen that? Have we seen those creatures elsewhere? Like,
Hmm.
yeah. I don't know for sure.
7 courts on Prithian and 7 princes of hell. What's up with the number 7? Is that a coinky dink?
But there are 8 courts in Prithian
Okay, but like right now,
right
there's
now.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the lookout for the number 7. 7 is the number of the day. Also 3. Did you guys notice how the cauldron was split into 3?
Yes. Like splitting it into the cauldron, the mother, and Erd.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys notice
3
when,
sisters.
yeah, when Pharaoh was like, I grabbed the cauldron because I remember that tapestry that said, basically told me that the cauldron is happiest when it's in a woman's hands. And I was like, yes, we know.
Erd's the word.
Yeah.
Found the quote. It's Farah going, I could have sworn I saw great burning wings, each feather on a simmering ember spread wide. Could have sworn a crown of incandescent light floated just above her flaming hair.
Like you think she's connected to the sprites? Like another sprite queen or something?
No, because I feel like we haven't seen something described that way, but it's weird that Farah was like, I think I saw that. So
Mm,
like it's not committing to it.
yeah. Like, did she only partially see what she saw?
What
know
is
either.
Amryn?
What is Amryn and where does she come from?
Where does she go?
What if she's a descendant? It's a descendant of Aelin as like a fire breathing bird.
It'd be really weird if one of Aelin's kids came out like that.
I know.
Unhinged theory number 3.
This one is a fire breathing bird. I don't know
Bird
where we went wrong,
queen.
Rowan.
Well, isn't Rowan's shape-shifting thing a bird?
That's
Yes.
true. When I said it out loud, I did hear it. And I was like, well, Aelin plus Rowan equals Firebird?
Yeah, that's where I'm getting at. That's where I'm getting at. The
I
crown
feel like it doesn't work
queen.
with her backstory at all. Like where she's like, and
Yeah.
I had to watch the humans from above and was supposed to not have feelings.
I did keep wondering though, because she talks about how they like had their dumb war and like went to war and then created peace. And I mean, to be fair, like Throne of Glass is the only other series that has done that, but like many worlds and peoples have done that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be Throne of Glass. There isn't like something that's very specific that says that it is, but it had all the Throne of Glass plot points in it. But yeah. Oh.
Maybe it'll appear in Sarah's next series.
Yeah. Does anyone have any Mossverse safe thoughts about who the fuck is Papa Archeron?
No clue.
He's got to be someone, right? Like he and Mama Archeron. I know that I obsess over this, but who are they?
Isn't he the Prince of Merchants? What was his tag name?
Yeah, the Prince of Merchants that made a deal with theoretically a death god.
Yeah, Elaine. He gave away Elaine to look as if Kochai was Rumpelstiltskin.
Maybe he had like some spider silk he just randomly came across.
Could be it.
He could be that merchant.
Definitely not that merchant. Since his name is
You don't
Falcon, but
You don't
I don't know. Oh, yeah. I don't have a good answer. I always feel like Papa Archeron and Mama Archeron are hiding something.
Oh, they're definitely
Yeah.
hiding something.
They're being squirrely, and I want to know why. I was just going through my yellow crossover stickies, and just came to the actual line about like the trove item that's on Miriam and Draken's Island, and I just love it. 3 centuries ago, we had some trouble on our borders and set up a glamour to keep the island shielded, tied to, you know. Tied to what?
What do we
Well,
know?
they're like, can you hide the cauldron? They're like, we have some other stuff we have to hide.
Or, like, yeah, we can hide more things. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my
Another
goodness.
theory. So, you know how like the cauldron Nessa took from the cauldron, and we assumed that it was like death, right? Like the death power.
Yeah.
And it gave something. It's always something, not really listing what that something is that it gave to Lane. So what if it's the opposite and it's life?
Life. Hmm.
See, that could have been a cool way to bring Reese back to life, but no. Instead,
I would also like to point out that I had one page that had 3 crossover stickies on it, and I felt like that was excessive, but it was necessary.
What were
what
they?
was the crossover sticky?
This is the scene with the Surreal. I liked that when she was talking about the bone carver, she said, I cannot see, not him. He is not born of this earth. His thread has not been woven in. I'm like, does that mean that he goes back to where he came from when he gets cauldroned? I don't know. I also loved that she called Amryn the silver-eyed messenger. Messenger of what? From where?
Messenger is a weird word. That's a
Right?
weird word choice.
Right. And like the
Mm.
Surreal always says things that are very specific. Like, why is Amryn a messenger? I don't know.
Maybe she's secretly a white fox.
Yeah. The only other thing that I noted is that when the Suriel gets ash arrowed, her blood is black and tastes like earth.
Ooh, we love a black blood scene.
Yeah.
That doesn't help my more theory though.
It doesn't, but it did make me think, like, are the Suriel like Valg creatures? Like, did they create them? Are they some of the products of Valg plus witch equals Suriel? Like, I don't know.
All
Was
knowing.
a witch reference at some point. They called someone a witch, and I was like,
Nesta.
ooh.
It's Nesta.
I'm surprised you forgot.
Yeah.
Who calls her a witch?
One of the
Devlin.
generals or lords, yeah.
Oh no, I think I'm thinking of something else.
I think there was
know
another
Devlin calls
time.
her a witch. There was another time where they were talking about witches.
Oh, maybe
Like
at
witch
the
powers.
Grayson,
Yeah.
maybe that
Oh.
scene.
Yes.
What?
Am I making that
I
up?
think no, I think it's when they're talking to the humans. I think it's in there. Something about witches. Like being born
Maybe.
of a witch. Yeah. The only other thing that I tabbed in the all powerful yellow that I'll bring up, and I know we've talked about this multiple times, but I also know that some of our closest book club book club people were wanting to know about when Feyre throws the Book of Breedings into the void, and just so everyone can go check, it's on page 632. Oh no, that's my other too many yellow sticky notes, Brooke. Too much crossover. Where is it? Nope, not
It's
that
easy
one.
to forget because, like,
Oh,
it's
no.
not always referenced as the Book of Breathings. It's just the book.
Yeah. It's when Reese, when Feyre's trying to figure out how to bring the cauldron back together, and she's looking at the book. She says, but the gold was engraved with its symbols. Only one being on this earth knew how to read, and she was gone. I hurled the damn thing into the void inside the cauldron.
And it didn't come
Was fairly
back.
short-sighted.
Yeah. And then it ended up in a library. Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yep.
Here we thought it was an Easter egg.
Do we still think that, like, the symbols are word marks that Amryn can read, but nobody else can?
Yeah. It was even confirmed in House of Flame and Shadow.
Right? Because, like, Bryce can read them.
And the words on her back were from the Book of Breathings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That confirms weird time travel-y stuff though. Because this is only like a year before Bryce comes to Prithian probably. Maybe 2. Like I guess we don't know the exact timeline, but it's not hundreds and hundreds of years. So Feyre's throwing the book now, but somehow it ends up hundreds and hundreds of years before.
Yep.
Thousands of years before.
Yeah, and I
Assuming
mean,
it's
like, I fully believe that, like, timey-wimey bullshit happens in the void, that, like, it doesn't all sync up.
yeah.
But yeah, somehow it gets to Jessica, like, forever ago.
Yeah. But like that is very clearly weird time stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if we do believe that the Book of Breathings is all in word marks, do we think that it is possible that Amryn is from Aurelia? And maybe created by all-powerful fire gods?
I don't think it means she's from Aurelia. I think the word marks in Aurelia are from other places. Like they're from wherever the Valg are from. So I think it's more likely that Amryn's from wherever the Valg are from.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
I forgot where the word marks originated in Throne of Glass.
I don't know if it says. I know that we know that, like, word and erd and, like, the cauldron are all combined somehow with the mother. But I don't know if we know for sure where the word marks originated.
Does anyone know? Did we miss it?
Yeah, let us know. Also, like, if you have theories about how any of this makes sense, Come chat with us. That's what the Discord's for. Anything else that you guys spotted? On to Frost and Starlight? Is it time?
Yeah.
Bad painting time with Feyre.
No.
We're gonna decorate the house for the holidays.
I do love that part. The holidays is my favorite part of Frost and Starlight.
Same.
Except for one person who's not happy about the gift that she was given.
Gift.
One episode on Frost and Starlight because it's teeny. It's up there somewhere. Very small. So read it with us. We will be doing one episode on it, and that'll be coming out in a couple of weeks. But we'll let you know when, so you will know when to finish it for. And we will see you guys then. Thanks so much for joining us for this reread. Bye, guys.